We were told AI was going to replace graphic designers. One click and you'd have the perfect asset. Instead, you get this. You sit down to generate a simple product cover, and 3 hours later, you're still typing prompt after prompt, arguing with a chatbot. You ask for a billboard, it spits back alphabet soup. You ask for a headshot, the subject has 7 fingers. The problem isn't that you lack the magic prompt. The problem is that you are using a hammer to turn a screw. AI models are not Swiss Army knives. They are highly specialized contractors. If you treat them all the same, your workflow collapses into a tangled mess of errors. But when you route your specific business need to the exact model built for that job, the friction disappears. Professional results don't come from a secret list of words. They come from mastering tool selection. If you've spent any time generating images for business, you know the fastest way to ruin a graphic is to ask the AI to include words. This matrix compares major models on core competencies. Notice Ideogram 2.0 spiking in the text accuracy column. For product covers or graphics with readable typography, start here. But there's a trade-off. It sacrifices cinematic loss, so raw output looks flat. This chart maps out the Canva Bridge workflow. You use the AI to generate the base visual layer, move that asset into Canva, and handle the typography and layout yourself. Splitting the creative process, letting the AI paint the picture while you set the type, eliminates the endless loop of trying to force a single prompt to do both perfectly. These tools are built to generate raw materials, not finished layouts. Your workflow needs to reflect that reality if you actually want to hit publish today. That approach works well for social media, but if you are pitching a corporate client or building a B2B proposal, close enough on the branding isn't an option. You need strict color compliance.
That is exactly what Nano Banana Pro, operating inside Google's Gemini platform, is built to do. You feed it your exact hex codes or RGB values, and it locks that precise brand palette across every single asset you generate. There's an even bigger hurdle with corporate deliverables: intellectual property. If you hand a client an image trained on scraped, copyrighted data, you are handing them a legal risk. Adobe Firefly Image 3 removes that risk entirely. Its training data is fully licensed and commercially safe. In the agency and consulting space, locking down brand accuracy and legal safety is a mandatory trade-off. You give up a little artistic flair to guarantee your deliverables won't trigger a lawsuit. Sometimes, though, you aren't worried about hex codes or perfectly spelled titles. You just need an image that stops people from scrolling. MIDJOURNEY V7 is the undisputed heavyweight here. The complex lighting, the rich textures, the composition, it produces work that feels distinctly editorial. But the trade-off is steep. Ask it to spell a word and it fails. Try navigating its interface and you hit a steep curve. Keep MIDJOURNEY in reserve for hero images and campaigns that must feel like they were shot by a human photographer, not extruded from a machine. You don't need a subscription to all of these tools. You need to build a curated microstack based strictly on what you produce every day. Take the time-poor solopreneur. If your priority is rapid social media posts and digital product launches, this scorecard shows your setup. You pair Ideogram's text reliability with Canva's layout tools, and you ignore the rest. But if you are a consultant delivering corporate pitches, the generic, glossy ChatGPT aesthetic will actively hurt your credibility. Your stack looks like this: Nano Banana Pro for precise brand colors and Adobe Firefly for total IP safety. Defining your persona and locking in a dedicated tool stack eliminates decision fatigue and drastically cuts down the time it takes to go from an idea to a published asset. Once you have that static visual pipeline locked in, the next step is animation. The demand right now is entirely on short-form video content. This is where a platform like Higgsfield becomes valuable. It houses both your brand-accurate image generators and advanced video motion models under one roof. Looking at this matrix, an animated product reel plots directly into the high-impact, low-effort quadrant. You bypass the massive learning curve of professional video editing software. In under 10 minutes, you can generate a flawless brand image with Nano Banana Pro, feed it into a motion model like Kling 3.0, and export a polished reel directly from your browser. The era of the single magic chatbot is over.
Treating AI as a carefully curated suite of specialists is the only sustainable way to scale your visual output without putting a full-time designer on the payroll.